All right, Oscar Talk getting at you today. Let's get it. New location, somewhere a little different. Out here on the trails. And figured, hey, be a good time to do an Oscar Talk. And let's see, got some, don't really have anything lined out, but definitely have some thoughts, ideas, imaginations. Yeah, I say considerations, imaginations. But I don't have manipulations, imaginations. So, with that said, let's just get into it. First off, it is a sunny day, clear skies, and I'm going to say mid to high 70s. It's warm out right now. It's warm out. So this is a new trail for me. I haven't been on this one. You see some of the birds out there doing what they do. Probably looking for little tadpoles or whatever they're eating there. So, what to talk about today? Every day. Game day. Every day is game day, isn't it? Every day is game day. Get up, get after it, check emails, work out, run, pay bills, just knock out all that early stuff. Of course, if you're a person of faith, you might do some reading, do some praying, talking about the Bible. Yeah. No mystery on that. What else? Maybe you take a cold plunge or hot plunge. I don't know. Hot bath, cold shower. Whatever it takes to kickstart the body. A few cups of coffee, maybe tea, whatever you drink. Preferably something of a more of a healthful nature. Maybe you're into the smoothie game. Get those veggies or juice, the juicers. You get the carrots and the apples and oranges. You juice that up. Throw some ginger in there. Juice that up. That's a good way to kind of get the digestive fluids flowing. Get that body going. Man, it's a cool little walk. This be a good run too. I wonder how long didn't say how long the trail is. Lot to say, just don't know where to start. Let's see. Cryptos. I'm learning about this crypto stuff. I don't know, man. I see it, but I don't see it. So all I could do is try to learn from it, see if I can utilize it to make some money and put it to good use. But it's like everything, anything financial is a challenge. It's a pretty steep learning curve. Stocks even. I'm not even in stocks. I was though. I did have some stocks, and when I started to learn about it, started to get into it, I started to really see that it can be a sound investment, but you really got to do the homework into what you're investing in. When you do that, you'll find out what companies are worthwhile and which ones are kind of just purely speculative. You'll start to learn that, but you really got to do the homework. That's where really having access to qualified professionals, when you combine that with your ability to do the basics, even if very fundamental, if you have the fundamentals and the basics and you go out and do that, then you're able to bounce that around to some professional minds that do it for a living. I think that's when you can get some really good results from your investing actions. One of the more interesting companies I was investing or buying stocks in, I should say, was firearms manufacturers, Smith & Wesson, what else? Ruger, and I would listen because they do their earnings reports, and you can listen in. I particularly like the Ruger in the way that they went about their how they did their business. They didn't take on a lot of debt. They stayed liquid. I think they ended up buying out Remington, or taking over Remington. It was an interesting business, but I didn't stick around long enough to really keep researching. But those are some indicators to me that it was pretty well run. And I like Smith & Wesson too. I just didn't do enough homework on them. But some interesting companies, and I don't know if a lot of people invest in these businesses or not, but they're manufacturers. So, but anyway, what I'm saying is that some of the key factors are businesses that they're not over levered, and they have resources to put into either research and development and or business operations. So, and they have a good clue. They're able to relay that information. It tells me they're maybe on the conservative end of how they run their shop, and that kind of lends itself to a little bit more stability, less price fluctuations, that sort of thing. And then you'll find companies that pay dividend, which is that's a plus. Only thing I haven't been able to really find is whether or not how the stock portfolio is held in terms of you'd be issued a stock. I mean, is it just like banking where it's just a digit? Is that paper held somewhere? I mean, that's a little elusive for the average Joe investor. But again, that's where the professionals come in. And I never really hooked up you know, with any pro on that level. But still, I was able to kind of get an idea of how some of these things work. I mean, you know, what are some of the other, and also the fact that it's like the manufacturers, firearms, everybody knows guns. I mean, either you like them or you don't. I mean, but they do make them. It's a physical product. You know, they are made. They're physically made. It's a physical product. They do have consumables, which would be like your, bullets. Your bullets. That's your consumable, more or less. They do need maintenance, but that's not on a manufacturer level. That's on, well, the bullets are, but as far as maintaining and that sort of thing, manufacturers, I don't know if there's any manufacturer that has that type of program where they probably have either certified like armor or something like that, where they can, if you want your firearm maintained, you can send it and know that the person specializes in whatever, Smith & Wesson, Glock, Beretta, Ruger, whatever. So that's something to look for if you're into that. Or, you got, a good gunsmith. That's on that end of things. But as far as, again, the stock investment, I think that's where you see like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they're big brands, highly recognizable, consumable. That's repeat business. So I think that's why it's a pretty well. A lot of stock portfolios hold that. There's more to it, logistics. I think. Never really got into how they run their distribution, but that would be a big component of that company for sure. And then investing overall. I mean, they are real businesses. They are, and they do interface with the public. You see their products, like Coke and Pepsi, you're going to see that in every store, major market, major grocery store, liquor store, any store, 7-Eleven, Quick Stop, vending machines. They're all over. They are all over, so they have huge exposure. Now, firearms, that's more specialized. That's not in every shop, or, especially nowadays. I think the industry is gaining more support overall, but it's still, people are, you got to educate yourself on these topics, though. So I'm more information than education, but once anybody is interested in any of these topics, once you can really educate yourself, learn about it, and then make your choice, make your decision how you want to approach it. And that's where it's at. I'm gonna be walking. There's a Costco around. Shoot, it's good. All right, folks. I'm gonna leave it there for now. If you listen along this far, all right, thank you. Oscar Talk. Walking and talking.